What is rape culture? Rape culture is a term that was coined by feminists in the United States in the 1970s. It was designed to show the ways in which society blamed victims of sexual assault and normalized male sexual violence.
Of men in the United States have been victims of rape. Since 1998, approximately 2.78 million men have been victims of rape, and their perpetrators can both either be men or women.
Types of sexual assault: alcohol and drug facilitated sexual assault, which is when the survivor is unable to give consent because she or he is under the influence of drugs and alcohol.
There was a young man in his mid-20s. He and his friends took a work trip from New Zealand to Australia. In this trip, they were at a house party, and this young man took one too many drinks and eventually got drunk. There was a woman twice his age that took advantage of his state and raped him. Of this horrible experience, this young man said, "If I was a young female, who got raped by a male, I'm sure everyone would be upset and try to make justice. But because I'm a male, everyone makes fun of me and thinks it's a joke."
Same-sex sexual assault is assault where the perpetrator and the survivor have the same gender identity. Survivors of same-sex sexual assault have to deal with the same traumatic post-assault effects, with additional concerns about homophobic responses from people who believe that same-sex partners cannot sexually assault each other.
We also have the story of Sam Johnson, a 22-year-old from Manchester, England. Most of us are around his age, and most of us have done what he did one night: simply go out and have fun with friends. After a night at a party, a couple of his friends invite him over for some drinks. These are his words: "I never thought I could get raped. It was never on my radar. You can fight, flight, or flop. I flopped. Both guys took turns raping me." Guys, is rape on your radar? Ideally, it shouldn't be on anyone's, but men can get raped too.
Surprisingly, males ages 18 through 24 and who are college students are 5 times more likely than non-college students to be victims of rape.
Incest is sexual contact between family members. According to RAINN, R-A-I-N-N, incest is far more common than one may think. Over 1/3 of perpetrators in cases of child abuse are family members. Marital rape is non-consensual sex within marriage. Many countries around the world do not have any legislation protecting victims of marital rape. Some countries either legally allow it or illegally tolerate it by not pursuing the rapist. The Western world has recently progressed due to the feminist movement, and some countries, such as the United States, have begun to develop new legislations to protect victims of marital rape.
National Rape Kit Database Act requires the Attorney General to establish a publicly available database on information on rape kits collected by federal, state, and local enforcement agencies, and provide technical assistance to such agencies to enable participation in the database. Sexual Assault Forensics Evidence Collection Kit requires certain information to be included in such database by law enforcement agencies and laboratories with respect to a rape kit, including the date of the action consulting the basis for the collection of the rape kit, the city or locality where such action occurred, the date of the entry into the database, the entity that has possession of the rape kit, and the processing status of the rape kit, and whether the statute of limitations has expired. California eliminates statute of limitations on rape cases. California Governor Jerry Brown has signed a bill that ends a statute of limitations on prosecuting rape cases. The bill is widely believed to be inspired by allegations against comedian Bill Cosby, after some of his accusers came forward long after the alleged sexual assaults took place.
How does society teach about rape or sexual assault? And the second question is, how can society educate the public on rape culture? So first, how does society teach on rape culture? Unfortunately, they don't really teach us much. They just talk about what to do to prevent it, but don't actually go deep within that issue. So, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics National Criminalization Survey, in 2012, there were 346,830 reports of rape or sexual assault of persons 12 years or older. That is a huge number. And the ways that society can help out with that issue or do something about it would be first, talk about sexual education or sex education. So the first question they can start asking students, the youth, people, what is consent? What does it mean to be sexually assaulted? Or how can you say no? Because there are many people that don't know how to say no. As weird or whatever it is, it may sound, a lot of people don't know how to say no. So I think that society should start teaching people how to say no, how to speak up for themselves, and how to actually say something about it if something happens to them. And we have to stress to men that this issue is real. And I don't want to get into the whole gender role or whatever you guys may think, but we got to stress this issue because as a man, I don't think they stress about going late at night, walking to their car late at night, going by themselves in the parking lot. Like us women, we have to fear and look behind our backs to see who's in back of us, or we just have to prevent those situations from happening. And it sucks that our presence is like, with our presence, we feel in danger or whatever it is. And also the third thing is, if you have a partner or someone you are involved emotionally, physically, and mentally, you should start opening pathways to healthy and honest communications regarding sex and consent.
So you might be wondering, what are some things you or the people around you can do to end the stigma of rape culture? One way would be to stop blaming victims of sexual assault or say that victims of sexual assault are lying. Only 2 to 10% of all rape accusations are false, so why would you base your conclusion on not believing someone was raped on such a low percent? Another way you can participate in ending rape culture is by practicing and learning about consent. These are just short-term goals that you or the people around you can do to end the stigma of rape.
So what is consent? Consent is an agreement between participants to engage in sexual activity. There are many different ways to give consent. Consent does not have to be verbal, but verbally agreeing to different sexual activities can help both you and your partner respect each other's boundaries. Giving consent for one activity one time does not mean giving consent recurring or increased sexual contact. Having sex with someone in the past does not give them permission to have sex with you in the future. You can change your mind at any time.
One long-term goal to end rape culture would be to educate the people around you. You may know about rape culture, you may have your own values about it, but when you educate the people around you, you really are making a difference. Although short-term goals are a good way to participate in ending the stigma of rape culture, long-term goals are a better way to end rape culture altogether.
Rape culture is something that affects everybody, no matter your age, gender, sexual orientation, or social class. You may fall victim to sexual assault. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be a victim to rape at some point in their lives. So no matter the stigma involved with rape culture, be a part of the conversation and don't hesitate to seek help and tell your story.